Good morning. Welcome in RNQ NIOS classes, chapter number 13, Indian Architecture. At times become very important to be reminded that we are that civilization which has spanned at least 4,500 years and which has left its impact on nearly everything in our lives and society. Imagine UNESCO has listed 830 World Heritage Sites, out of which 26 are in India. This is less than six other countries. It is this not a tangible proof of the creative genius and industry of this ancient land, people, and also of the gifts bestowed on by it by nature. Be it the Bhimiska prehistorical rock at one end of the innumerable places, mosque temples, gurudwaras, church or tombs and sprawling seats and Solomon steppes. Going through the cities of Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, Mumbai, and Kolkata, etc., you find many beautiful buildings. Some are monuments, places, temples, church, mosque, and memories. Many of them had their foundation before Christ, and many after the coming of memories. Many of them had their foundation before Christ, and many after the coming of Christ. Many generations have been part of this architecture, which stand mightily and loftily, reminding us of glorious past, which has been ours. This is beautiful art and architecture form an important part of Indian culture. Many distinctive features that we find in the architecture today be developed throughout the long period of Indian history. The earliest and most remarkable evidence of Indian architecture is found of the cities of the Harappa civilization, which boast of a unique town planning. In the post-Harappa period, architecture style have been classified as Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain. The medieval period saw the synthesis of Persian and indigenous style of architecture. Thereafter, the colonial period brought the influence of Western architecture to India. This India architecture is a synthesis of indigenous style and external influence, which has lent it a unique characteristic of its town. Now let us discuss objective. After the reading lesson, you will be able to identify the main characteristic and various style of Indian architecture and sculpture at different times. Trace the evolution of Indian architecture over the year. Recognize the contribution of Buddhism and Jainism to the development of the Indian architecture. Appreciate the role played by Gupta, Pallava, and Chola rulers in the flourishing temples architecture of India. Identify the different influences that mark the architecture impression of the medieval period and point out the important architecture style under the colonial regime. Architecture origin and Indian perspective. Architecture is not a modern phenomenon. It began as soon as the early man began to build his own shelter to live in. Man first began to create and fix on shelter when he stepped out from the natural habitat of the dense jungles covered with the faculties of man awakened in the search of larger and better shelter space. They begin to the build with inherent aesthetic sense a shelter that uh, seemed pleasing to the eye. Thus emerged architecture, which is a combination of needs, imagination, capacities of the builders, and capability of the worker. Architecture form and construction details. Architecture accommodated of the local and regional cultural traditional and social requirement, economic prosperity, religion, practice of different times. Hence, the study of architecture reveals to us culture uh, diversities and help us under the rich tradition of India. Indian architecture evolved in various ages in different parts and region of the country. Apart from this natural and obvious evolution from the prehistoric and historic period, evolution of Indian architecture was generally affected by many great and important historic development. Naturally, the emergence and decay of great empire and dynasties in the subcontinent, each in their way, influenced the growth and shaped the evolution of Indian architecture. External influence have also shaped the nature of Indian architecture, and so has the influence of different regions of the country. Let us have a look at the process of evolution of Indian architecture. Harappan period. The excavations at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro and several other sites of the Indus Valley civilization revealed the existence of very modern urban civilization with expert town planning and engineering skills. The very advanced drainage system, along with well planned roads and houses, show that sophisticated and highly evolved cultural existence in India. Before the coming of the Arya, the site of the Indus Valley civilization were excavated under the Archaeological Survey of India established by the British. The Harappan people had constructed mainly three types of building: dwelling houses, uh, pillared halls, and public baths. Main feature of Harappa remains are the settlements could be tracked as far back of uh, third mile million minimized BC. Some important settlements were executed on the bank of the river Indus, particularly at bends, and provide water easy means of transportation of produce and other goods, and also some protection by way of natural barriers of the river. All the site consists of walled cities which provide security to the people. The cities had a rectangular grid pattern of layout with roads that cut each other at right angles. The Indus Valley people used standard burned mud bricks as building material. There is evidence of building of big dimensional, which perhaps were public building, administrative or business center, pillar halls and courtyards. There is no evidence of temples. Public building include granaries which were used to store grains, which give an idea of an organized collection and distribution system. Along with the large public building, there is evidence of a small one-roomed construction that appear to be working people quarters. The Harappa people were great engineers, as an evident from the public bath that was discovered at Mohenjo-daro's. The Great Bath, it is as it called, the still function, and there is no leakage or cracks in the construction. The existence of what appear to be a public bathing place shows the importance of ritualistic bathing and cleanliness in this culture. It is significant that most of the houses had private well as bathrooms. At some sites, a dominant citadel was excavated in the western part, containing the public building, including the granaries. This can perhaps be treated as evidence of some kind of political authority ruling over the cities. There is an evidence also of fortifications with gateway enclosing the walled cities, which shows that there may have been a fear of being attacked. Lothal, a site in Gujarat, also has remained of dockyard, providing the trade flourished in those times by Ishi. Another remarkable feature was the existence of well-planned drainage system in the resident part of the city. Small drains from the from the houses were connected to large ones along the sides of the main road. The drain were covered, and also loose covers were provided for the purpose cleaning them. The planning of the residential houses was also meticulous. Evidence of stairs shows houses were often double stories. Stored doors were in the side lands to prevent dust from entering the house. The most important feature of Harappan architecture are their superior town planning skill and site. They have been built on a clear geometrical pattern on grid layout. Roads cut each other at a right angles and were very well laid out. As the Indus Valley settlement were located on the bank of the rivers, they were often destroyed by the major floods. In the spite of calamity, the Indus Valley people built fresh settlement on the same sites. Thus, layers upon layers of settlement and building were found during the executions, the decline, and final destructions. The Indus Valley civilization, sometimes around the second millennium BC, remain a mystery to this day. Made thick layers of well bagged bricks laid in gypsum mortar were joined together for the purpose of making the whole construction very strong. The strength of the building can be seen by the fact of that have successfully survived the remains of at least 5,000 years. The Harappa had the knowledge and skill sculpting the craft. The world first bronze sculpture of a dancing girl has been found in Mohenjo-daro. A terracotta figure made in a yogic posture has also executed beautiful personal ornaments, soft stone seals with a pictorial script and images of human bulls. Pushapati unicorn have also been executed. The Vedic Arya who come next lived in house built of wood, bamboo and reeds. The Arya culture was largely a rural one, and thus one find few examples of grand buildings. This was because Arya used perishable material like wood for the construction of royal places, which have been completely destroyed over time. The most important feature of the Vedic period was the making of fire altars, which soon become an important and internal part of the social and religious life of people even today in many Hindu homes, and especially in their marriage. These fire altars play an important role even today. Soon courtyard and mandaps were built with altars for worship of fire, which was the most important feature of architecture. We also find reference of gurukuls and hermitages. Unfortunately, no structure of the Vedic period remains to be seen. Their contribution to the architecture history is the use wood along with brick and stone for building their houses. In the 6th century BC, India entered a significant phase of her history. The arose two new religions, Jainism and Buddhism, and even the Vedic religion underwent a change. Almost simultaneously, larger stages sprang up, which further provide for new type of architecture. From this period, the expansion of um, Magd, um, Magda Empire into the development of architecture received further impetus. From now, it was possible to trace Indian agriculture in architecture in an almost unbroken sequence. Emergence of Buddhism and Jainism helped in the development of uh, early architecture style. The Buddhist uh, stupas were built at places where Buddha's remains was pres- um, preserved, and at the major site were important event in Buddha life took place. Stupas were built of huge mounds of mud, enclosed and carefully built from standard bricks. One was built at the birthplace Lumbini, the second at Gaya, where it attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, the third at Sarnath, where he gave his first sermon, and the fourth of Kushinagar, uh, fourth is Kushinagar, where he passed away, attaining Maha, Mahaparinirvana at the age of 80. Buddha burial mounds and place of major events in his life become important landmark of the significant architecture building in the country. These become important site for Buddha order of monk and nuns. The Shangha monasteries, Bihars, and center of the uh, preceding teaching and learning came up at such places. Congregations halls, uh, chaitya for teaching, and interactions between the common people and monk were also built up. From now on, religion begin influence architecture, while Buddhists and Jains begin to build stupas, viharas, and chaityas. The first temple building activity started during the Gupta rule. Early historic period. An important phase of Indian architecture begin with Maurya period. The material prosperity of Maurya and a new religion consequences led to achievement in all fields. Megasthenes, the Greek ambassador of Seleucus, Nicator, who visited the Maurya court, described uh, Chandragupta Maurya places as an excellent architecture achievement. It was the large places carved out of wood. In the Maurya period 322 to 182 BC, especially under Asoka, architecture saw a great advancement. Maurya art and architecture depicted the influence of Persian and Greek. During the reign of Ashoka, many monolithic stone pillars were erected on which teaching of Dhamma were inscribed. The highly polished pillars with animals figures adorning the top capitals are unique and remarkable. The line capital of the Sarnath pillars has been accepted as the emblem of the Indian Republic. Each pillar weighed about 50 tons and is about 50 feet high. The stoops of Shachi and Sarnath are symbols of the achievement of Maurya architecture. The gateway of the Shachi stoop with a beautiful sculpture depicting scenes from Jataka story are specimens of the skills and authentic scenes of the artisans. The blending of Greek and Indian are led to the development of uh, Gandhara art, which developed later. The other schools of art and architectures were the indigenous Mudra schools and Amratvati school. A large number of statues of Buddha were built by the artisan of these schools, especially after first century AD, under the influence of the uh, Kushnas. Under the Gandhara school of art, life like statue of Buddha and Bodhisattvas were made in the likeness of Greek gods. Even through the ideas, inspiration, and subject were all Indian rich ornaments, customs, drapery were used to impart physical beauty. The sculptures were in stone, terracotta, cement-like material, and clay. The figure of the Mathura school were made of spotted red stone. They had more of a spiritual look in them. Her, along with Buddha, we find sculptures of Jaina deities also. The Amritavati school developed under the patronage of the Satavahan of the Andhra region. A great stupa was built at Amritavati in lower Godavari region. The walls of the stupa was adorned with bas relief, had carved medallion and decorative panels. Um, Nagarjunakonda is another place that is famous for Buddhist architecture. The Gupta period marks the beginning of the construction freestanding Hindu temples. An example of is the temple at uh, Dig, uh, Digara's Jhansi district, which had a central sign of uh, Garbhagriha where the image of deity was placed. Another temple at Bhitrigaon, Kanpur district are two fine examples of this period. Cave architecture. The development of cave architecture is another unique figure and mark as an important phase in the history of Indian architecture. More than thousand caves have been excavated between uh, 2nd century BC and 10th century AD. Famous among these were Ajanta and Ellora caves of Maharashtra and Udaygiri cave of Odisha. These caves hold Buddhist vihars, uh, chaityas, as well as mm, mandhapas and pillared temples of Hindu gods and goddess. Rock cut temples. Temples were have out used rocks. The earliest rock cut temples were excavated in western Deccan in the early years of the Christian era. The Chaitya at Karli with the fine high halls and polished decorative walls is remarkable example of rock cut architecture. The Kailash temple at Ellora, built by the Rakshtrakutra and the Ratha temple of uh, Mahabalipuram, built by the uh, Pallavas, are other examples of rock cut temples. Most probably, the stability of the and permanence of rock attracted the patrons of art and builders who decorated these temples with beautiful sculptures. Freestanding temples. The temple building activity that began during the Gupta rule continued to flourish later period in southern India. The Pallavas, Chols, Padhyas, Hoy, Hoysha, Hoysalas, and later the rulers of the Vijayanagara kingdom was great builders of temples. The Pallavas rulers built at the shore temple at Mahabalipuram. Pallavas also built other structural temples like um, Kali Shannath temple and Vaikuntha uh, Parnu- Perumal temples at Kachipuram. The Cholas built many temples, most famous being the uh, Brihadeshwara temple at Tanjore. The Cholas developed a typical style of temple architecture of South India called the Dravida style, complete with vimana of shikhara, high walls, and great width topped by Gupurma. Magnified temples were built at Bilor, Halibid, where the stone engraving reached even greatest height. In North and Eastern Indian, magnificent temples were also constructed, and the style followed by them in reference of the Nagara style. Most of them uh, consisting of the shikaras, spiral roofs, the garbhangira, sanctum, and the mandap pillared hall. Odisha has some of the most beautiful temples, such as uh, Lingaraja temple built by the Ganga rulers, and the Mukanteshwara temple and Bhubaneswara, and the Jagannath temple at Puri. The Sun temple at Konark was built in 13th century by Eastern Ganga ruler Narasimha Deva. Uh, First, the temple is dedicated to Surya, the sun god, and has been designed as a 12-wheeled uh, chariot. The temple complex at uh, Khaju, Khajurbo was built by Chandela rulers between the 10th and 11th centuries in Bundelkhand region of Madhya Pradesh. Most important among them is the Kandariya Mahadev Temple. Mount Abu in Rajasthan is known as Dilwara Temple, dedicated Jain Tirthankaram. These were built in pure white marble and adorned with executive sculptures. These were built under the patronage of Sholanki rulers. Somnath temples at Gujarat, Vishwanath temple at Banaras, Govinda temple at Mathura, Kamakhya temple at Guwahati, uh, Shankaracharya temple at Kashmir, and the Kali temple at Kalighat of Kolkata are some other important temples which bear testimony to temple building activity of the Indian subcontinent. Indian medieval period architecture, Delhi Sultan. With the arrival of Turk during the 13th century came a new technique of architecture. The architecture style of Persia, Arabia, and Central Asia. The ingenious features of this building were the domes, arches, and minarets. The places, mosque, and tombs built by the rulers had these features, which were builded with the features of the uh, indigenous architecture, and a new synthesis in architecture was achieved. This happened because the Turkish rulers of Delhi utilization the service of the local Indian craftsmen who were very skillful and had already constructed beautiful buildings. In the buildings that come up, we find the simplicity of the Islamic structure as well as detailed sculptures and design they made on their own indigenous structures. A middle path was followed in all their designs in the architecture of the period. The earliest building of this period is Quathal Islam Mosque at Delhi and at Qutub Minar. The latter is tower whose height is 70 meter. It is tapering lower that has 5 story. These there are beautiful engraving of calligraphy both in the mosque and on the tower. Many other buildings were later constructed by the Sultan Alauddin Khilji in charge the Quat ul Islam Mosque and built a gateway out to the enclosure of the mosque. This gateway is called the Alahi Darwaza Alahi Darwaza and is one of the most beautiful architectural design. Even today, decorative elements were used to make the building outstanding in its beauty. He also built the Hajj Khash in Delhi, which was hydraulically structured. The tomb of through their building were not beautiful built, had very strong walls, massive as well as impressive during Afghan rule. The tombs of Ibrahim Lodi at Delhi and uh, Sher Shah tomb at Shasharam were built. The architecture of this period also shows how how indigenous styles were adapted and utilized by the buildings during these years. The Turks were still in the process of stealing town. The rulers were threatened by the Mughals, who made a sudden invasion from the north. This is why the building of this period are strong, steady, and practical. Uh, regional regional kingdoms. With the establishment of regional kingdoms in Bengal, Gujarat, and Deccan, beautiful buildings having their own style were constructed. The Jama Masjid, the Sadi Sayyid Mosque, and Shaking Towers at Ahmedabad are a few examples of the architecture in Mandu, central India, and Jama Masjid Hindola Mahal and Jahaz Mahal were built in the Deccan. The Sultan erected a number of buildings. The Jama Masjid at Gulbarga, the Madrasa at Muhammad Gaon at Bidhar, Ibrahim Rujja Gol Gamanja at Bijapur, and the fort of Golconda are just a few famous buildings. Gol Gumbaz has the largest dome in the world. All these buildings vary in design and style from building of North India in the Bengal, the oblong shape of many structure and the peculiar style of rough constructions were some of the distinguished features of the regional architecture of Bengal, like the uh, Adina Gaur in Jaunpur, the Atala Mosque built by Sarki rulers had gigantic skin covering the dome, while the tomb of Oshang Shah at Malwa is made entirely of marble and made of yellow and black marble inlay work beautifully done by craftsmen. The rulers of Vijayanagar and empire, which was establishment during the period, also erected many beautiful buildings and temples and had a number of achievements to their credit. Through only ruins remains, but the temples of Vidhashwami and Hazar Ramma Happy are good examples. Bahmani. The Bahmani sultans borrowed from the style of Persia, Syria, Turkey, and the temples of southern India. The Jama Masjid and Gulbarga is quite well known. The courtyard of his mosque is covered with large number of domes and is the only mosque in India which has covered courtyard. Mughals. The advent of Mughals brought a new era in architecture. The synthesis of style which began earlier reached in zenith during this time. The architecture of Mughal style started during Akbar's rulers. The first building of this rule was Humayun tomb at Delhi. In this magnificent building, red stone was used. It has main gateway and the tomb is praised in the midst of a garden. Many consider it is a precursor of the Taj Mahal. Akbar built fort at Agra and Fatehpur Sikri. The Buland Darwaza reflect the Taj Mahal. Akbar built fort at at the Grandeshwar of the mighty Mughal Empire. This building was made following Akbar's victory over Gujarat. The arch of the Buland Darwaja is about 41-meter high and is perhaps the most imposing gateway in the world. The tomb of the Salim uh, Chishti place of Jodhabai, uh, Ibadat Khana, Birbal House, and other buildings at Fatehpur Sikri reflect the synthesis of Ibdal Khana, synthesis of Persian and Indian elements during the reign of Jahangir. Akbar's mausoleum was constructed at Sikandra near Agra. He built the beautiful tomb of Itimad ud Daula, which was built entirely of marble. Shah Jahan was the greatest builder amongst the Mughals. He was used marble. He was used marble extensively decorative design inlay work called Pitra Dhuro, beautiful arches and minarets were the feature of his building. The Red Forts and Jama Masjid of Delhi and above all the Taj Mahal are some of the buildings built by Shah Jahan. The Taj Mahal, the tomb of Shah Jahan wives, is built in marble and reflect all the architecture features that were developed during the Mughal period. It has central bronze, four elongate minarets, gateway, inlay work, and gardens surrounding the main building. The Mughals style of architecture had a profound influence on the building of latter period. The building showed a strong influence of the ancient Indian style and had courtyard and pillars for the first time in the architecture of style. Living beings, elephants, lions, peacocks, and other birds are sculpted in the brackets. Next came the British, who ruled the country for 200 years and left behind a legacy of colonial style architecture in their buildings. Monuments built by Akbar at Fatehpur Sikri. The Mughal architecture began in the reign of Akbar. He erected many important buildings. The crowning achievement of his reign was building of a new capital city of Fatehpur Sikri, 40 kilometers from Agra. Fatehpur Sikri is romance of stones. The arc of the Buland Darwaja is most imposing gateway in the world. The tomb of Sant Salim Christian is executive in its beauty. Jodhabai Place is a fine example of ancient Indian architecture. The Jama Masjid was built with the influence the Persian style. The the Devan and the Devan Khash are famous for their planning and decoration. The Ibadat Khana and Panch Mahal are another notable building. The Panch Mahal is a pyramidal structure in five stories. Uh, stories. It was built by the pattern of Buddhist Vihara. From 1526, the Mughal architecture gave a totally different dimension to tomb building. These are built on platform and are surrounded by garden laid out. The ornamental fountains. A famous example is the Moscow at Fatehpur Sikri, three domes of 290 feet by 470 feet and with two royal tombs. Another famous tomb is Akbar tomb in Shikandra AD 1593 to 1613. The Taj Mahal Agra AD 1630, built by Shah Jahan, is considered one of the wonders of the world. It is royal tomb in marble built on a platform 18 feet high and 1330 feet square. Each corner is marked by minor 133 feet high. The center dome is 80 feet uh, high and 58 feet in diameter. Marble is inlaid with semi-precious stone like jasper and agate. It stands by the bank of the river Jamuna in the middle of marble terracas, fountains and lakes flanked by the cypress trees. Mughal architecture declined with the falling political power of the Mughal Empire. A unique architecture development the Mughal times was a beautiful garden developed around the tombs and other buildings. The the Shalimar Garden in Kashmir and Lahore were developed by Jahangir and Shah Jahan respectively. The Mughals encouraged cultural and architecture growth of India. Colonial architecture and the modern period. The colonial influence can be seen in office building. European who started coming from 16th century AD constructed many churches and other buildings. Portuguese built many churches at Goa. The most famous of these basilica, Boom Jesus and the Church of the Saint Francis. The British also built administrative and residential buildings which reflect their imperial glory. Some Greek and Roman influence can be observed in the colonnades or pillars buildings. Parliament House and Connaught Place in Delhi are good example. The architecture Lutyens designed Rashtrapati Bhavan, formerly the Viceroy resident. It is built of sandstone and has design feature like colonies and jali from Rajasthan. The the Victoria Memorial in Calcutta, the former capital of British India, is huge edifice in marble. It now houses a museum full of colonial artifacts. Writer buildings in Calcutta, where generation of government officers work in British times, is still administrative center of Bengal. After independence, some Gothic elements can be seen in buildings like church buildings like um, generations of government officer work in British time is still administrative center of Bengal. After independence, of Gothic elements can be seen in the church buildings like like um uh, Paul Cathedral in Calcutta. The British also left behind impressive railways terminals like the Victoria terminus in Mumbai. more contemporary style of building are now in evidence. After independence in 1947, Chandigarh has buildings designed by the French architect Corbusier in Delhi. The Australian architecture scene designed the India International Center, where conferences are held by leading intellectuals from all the over the world, and more recently the India Habitat Center, which become a center of intellectual activity in the capital. In the past few decades, there have been many talented in Indian architecture. Some train in uh, primer schools of architecture like the School of Planning and Architecture (SPN) in uh, Delhi. Architects like Raj Raval and Charles Korea represent this new generation. Raj Raval has designed the Scope Complex and Jawahar Vyapar Bhavan in Delhi. He takes pride in using indigenous building material like sandstone for construction, and also combine steps and open spaces from the plazas of Rome. An example of this is the side building in Delhi. Charles Korea from Mumbai is responsible for the LIC building in um, Connaught Place, Delhi. He has used glass facades in high rise to reflect light and create a sense of soaring height. In domestic architecture, in the last decade, housing cooperative society have mushroomed in metropolitan cities, combining utility with high level of planning and aesthetic sense. Towns and cities in India. You have read in this lesson about the architecture of ancient, medieval, and modern period in India. In the previous section, you read about the School of Planning and Architecture in Delhi. You can see that planning goes with architecture. Do you know that this planning is actually a town planning which is linked with urban development? It is evidence that when we think or talk of architecture, we have to think of the related idea of town planning or urban development. In this section, we will learn about the growth and development of towns and cities in India. It is Indian and interesting story. We should also spend some time in going also details about the four major cities of contemporary India: Chi- uh, Chennai, Mumbai, Kolkata, and Delhi. We will trace the origin of the cities and learn about the important structure and buildings. You would be surprised to know that starting from Harappa civilization, also known as Indus Saraswati civilization by some historians, in India has had a very long history of town planning, which can be tracked back to 230 2350 BC. As you have already learned about the two cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, are had been elaborated drainage system, roads which cut each other right angle, a citadel which was built on high ground, and in the lower parts lived in the rest of the population. uh, Kalibangam in Rajasthan and Surkonda in Kuch and similar city structure from 600 BC onwards become across more towns and cities that were associated with both Arya as well as Dravidian civilization. These were uh, Rajgir, Varanasi, Ayodhya, Hastinapur, Ujjain, Saraswati, Kalibas, uh, Kapilavastu, and Kaushambi. Besides many others, we also come across many towns in the Maurya period known as Janapadhyay, small towns, and Mahajanpads, big towns. With the coming of the Muslim to India, the scene changed. Islamic influence become evidence in the town. Mosque, fort, and places now dotted the urban scenes. According to Abul Fazl, there were 2837 town in 1594 AD. This was mainly because many larger villages were transformed into smaller towns, which come to be called Goshwas. These Goshwas soon come to occupied by local artisans and craftsmen who started specialization in their chosen craft. For example, leather work and marble in the Agra, Sindh specialization in cotton textile, silk, etc. With Gujarat excellent in the art of weaving gold and silk thread and made broadcasts that were often exported to other countries. As you know, later during the 16th century, the European came to India through the era route and thus began to establishment of new port town like Panaji and Gao, 1510, Bombay in Maharashtra, 1532, mm, uh, Machilipatnam 605, Nagapatnam 658, Madras 639 in south and Calcutta 690 in the east. The reason why these new fort towns were be developed by British was because during this time England had developed into a leading industry economy of the world, while India was the leading supplier of a raw material from the British industry as well as potential major buyer of these goods. After 1853, railway lines were also laid out British to carry goods from the interior of the ports of connecting area which were supplying raw material or receiving finished good. By 1905, nearly 28,000 miles of rail lines had been spread to survey the economic, political, and military interest of the British post and telegraph lines were also laid, which were needed for communication purposes. By the beginning of the 20th century, Bombay, now Mumbai, now Kolkata, and Madras, now Chennai, and become well known as important cities of administration, commerce, as well as industry. Some places like Dahlias Square in Kolkata uh, for Girgaon in Madras, Connaught Place in Delhi, and the shores of Marine Drive in Bombay remind in the Europe of their home in England, but they also wanted the colonies of their environments back home in Europe. So new center developed in the hill station near these big cities to beat the sterility summer months of India. Mussoorie, Simla, and Nainital in the north, Darjeeling and Shillong in the east, Nilgiri and Kodaikanal in the south, new residential area like civil lines and cantonments came up in towns. The area where civil administrative officers lived was called civil lines. Were cantonments were area mean for British Army officers. Do you know that even today these two areas are meant for the elite in the administrations and the army as in those days? Let us let us now read these metropolitan cities like of India: Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai, and Delhi. Surely you know these cities. Chennai, formerly known as Madras, is the capital of the state of Tamil Nadu and is one of the four metropolitan cities of this India. The city grew up around Fort Sant Gagor and with time absorbed the surrounding towns and villages. In 19th century, the city became the seat of Madras Presidency, the southern division of British Imperial India. After independence in 1947, the city became the capital of Madras state, which was renamed as Tamil Nadu in uh, after independence 19 renamed as Tamil Nadu in 1968. It has retained its traditional Tamil Nadu culture, has been able to provide a unique blend for foreign influence and Indian culture. Chennai British influence is evident in various cathedrals, buildings, and wide tree-aligned awareness. The High Court buildings. Building in 1892 was said to the largest judicial building in the world after the Court of London. The main hallmark of Fort Gargoyle is its decorative domes and corridors are reminiscent of new architecture. The ice house was used to store enormous block of ice cut from the Great Lakes in northern USA and shipped to India for refrigeration purposes during the colonial rule. Another beautiful structure that come up during the was the Church of uh, uh, Joan that had white Gothic arches and beautiful glass windows. It had a nave and isles in a tower and spire. The walls are made of rubble faced with coarse Kurla stone buff, while the piers, arches, and dressing are Porbandar stone. The roof is built of teak wood and the floor of tiles imported from England. Yet another structure worth maintaining that was built during the period was the General Post Office completed in 1872. The General Post Office in Chennai has a vast central hall with a very high dome. It was built in local basalt with dressing of yellow stone from Kurla and white stone from uh, Darangandra is an important tourist attraction inside the marble topped tables, the high valued um, ceilings and the sweeping staircases and designed for an ostentation so of wealth and power of the British. Kolkata. It is the interesting to explore the origin and history of Kolkata. Do you know that is it was the capital of British India till 1911. It was established as Calcutta in the year 1686 as the result of the expansion of plans of the British. This city kept progressing until 1756 when um, Siraj-ud-Dowlah, Nawab of Bengal, attacked and succeeded in driving the British away from the town in 1757. The following year, Battle of Plassey took place in which Robert Clive took over the city by defeating the Nawab with the establishment of Supreme Court of Calcutta in 1774. It became the seat of justice. The capital of British India was shifted from Calcutta to New Delhi in 1911. You may be aware that Calcutta was officially renamed Kolkata in 201. Let us now take a look example famous structure and building Kolkata that exists till today. Uh, Howrah Bridge is located over the Hooghly River. It connects the city of Howrah to Calcutta. It stands on 270 feet high pillars and who constructed without using any nuts and bolts. This bridge acts as an important symbol of Kolkata. It is probably the busiest bridge of the world, located in North Calcutta. Marble Place was constructed in 1835. It served as an execute as art gallery. It displays marvels, objective of arts, sculptural pictures of oil paintings. It also has a zero zoo where you can find different kinds of birds and animals. In fact, it has a rare collection of birds. Fort William is situated at the banks of the river Hooghly. It was established by the British, initiated by Robert Clive in the 1696. It got completed by 1780. The basic purpose of sitting of Fort William was prevent attack from the invaders. The area that was cleared around the fort has become as Madden, where several exhibitions and fair take place till today. Victoria Memorial Hall in Kolkata in fabulous museum that was established in year 1921. It is fantastic place that takes visitor into the world of past history. Today, Victoria Memorial is one of the finest art museum in Kolkata. It is a 184 feet tall edifice that was constructed in on 64 arc of land. Do you know that of Eden Garden Cricket Club in Kolkata come into existence year 1864? Today it has capacity to accommodate about 1,20,000 person. Eden Garden Kolkata definitely falls in the category of must-see places. The construction of Writer Building began as early in as in 1690. It got its name owing the fact that it served as the dwelling places for the junior writer of the East India Company. The Gothic structure came into existence during the tenure of Lieutenant Governor Ashley Eden 1877. Mumbai. You know that Mumbai is the located as the shores of Arabian Sea on the west coast of India. You will be surprised to know that it was once a group of seven islands, although its site has been inhabited since its prehistorical times. The city of Mumbai dates only to the uh, arrival of the British in 17th century, where it come up as Bombay. However, it really took shape in the 19th century. It was the first Indian city to have railways. Along with Kolkata, it was the one of the first two Indian cities where newspaper came to into existence. During the second half of 19th century, many civics and public buildings were constructed in Bombay in Victorian Gothic style. Secretarial 1874, the Council Hall 1876, the Elphinstone College 1890. But the most impressive style was the Victoria Terminus, modern Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, the massive railways construction in 1887. It looks more like a cathedral than a railway station. It contains carved stone friezes, stained glass windows, and flyleaf walls. The famous gateway in India was built with yellow stone in Indo-Saracen style of architecture to honor the visit of King Gergo V and Queen Mary into India. It was completed in 1924 at a cost of rupee 24 lakh, which was fortunate in those days. It has 26-meter high architecture and is completely with the four tunnels and integrated lattice work carved into the yellow basalt stone. Since independence, Mumbai has continued to India's leading commercial and industrial city, the stock exchange, the business center, the famous film industry called Bollywood, and anything you can in the name of westernization and modernization in all here. As you know that today is the most important financial city of India, with important industry like textile, finance, and filmmaking. You are aware of the famous Bollywood, the biggest film industry in the world, where so many Hindi films are produced. Once known as gateway to India, traces British rule are still evidence in city of Mumbai. Delhi. Do you know that Delhi became the as a capital of British in 1911? That is why Delhi celebrated in 10th anniversary in 2011. Evidently, it was 1911 that the modern city, now called the New Delhi, came up. However, Delhi has a history much older than that. It is believed that there are at least seven important old cities that have been come together to form Delhi. The first city of Delhi is believed to have established on the night bank of Yamuna by uh, Yadushitriya, the oldest of Pandava brothers by the name of Indra Prasad. Surely you remember the story of Mahabharata, which is the legend of the Pandavas and Kauravas. According to folklore. Delhi was founded by Raja Dhilu during the 2nd century AD, probably of geographer Mark Daly in his map as Daedala. But it was the much before this that among the innumerable Harappa sites figure the city was called Delhi. The evidence of this can be seen. You visit the National Museum at Delhi. Uh, from that time onwards, Delhi has continued to grow. Today it has expanded to so much that it was now one of the largest cities that not only in the country but it is whole world. A very interesting legend associated with Delhi. The story goes like snack Vashuki was pushed underground by an iron pillar on in the Qutub Minar complex during the time of King Ashoka. Several years later, when the Tomar King Anand Pal of Lal Kot established a rule in Delhi, he pulled on his pillar and set the serpent free. At that time, it was predicted that no dynasty would now be able to rule over Delhi for long after the uh, Tomars come Chauhans who built city called Kila Rai Pithora in the Lal Kot area near Mirauli. Prithviraj Chauhan of this dynasty ruled from um, Miharuli. Delhi again came into prominence when the Slav dynasty came into power. You will remember reading the Kutubuddin had started building the famous Qutub Minar, which was later finished by Iltutmish. Later, when Alauddin Khilji became the Sultan, it was Siri that became the center of power. The Siri fort still exists, and this area in Delhi uh, known as Shahapur Jayashree. Also, an interesting story to tell. Alauddin Khilji rule was constantly threatened by the Mughal invasions. Some of the Mughals who stayed back in the city rebelled. Alauddin Khilji got them beheaded, and their heads were buried under the walls of the city. That is how the places came to the called Shri. As you know, the word Shar means had. We still use that word for had. Some year later, when the Tughlaq dynasty came to power, Sultan Ghiyajuddin Tughlaq constructed the city was Tughlaqabad. This was the design as the fortified town after Ghiyajuddin death. Muhammad bin Tughlaq 1320 to 1388 enclosed the earlier cities of Delhi into single unit and named as it Jahanpana. Ibn Battuta, who served in the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, has given a very interesting description of the city. He has described it as the metropolis of India, a vast and magnificent city. Unitily beauty with strength, it surrounded by a wall uh, has no equal in the world, and it is largest city in the India. May rather the largest city in the earlier entire Muslim Orient. Another important rulers of Tughlaq, uh, another important ruler of uh, Tughlaq dynasty was Firoz Shah. During the reign, Delhi had an enormous population and it covered extension area. He constructed Firozabad, located near Firoz Shah uh, Kotla. However, the invention of uh, Timur, the king of Samarkand, in 1398 destroyed its glory, including city of Jahanpana. Timur took with him Indian architecture and machines to build the mosque at Samarnath. The succeeding rulers shifted their capitals to Agra. It was the Mughal rulers Humayun who built Dinpanah on the mound of ancient Indraprasad. However, it was Humayun, grandson Shah Jahan, who revived the lost glory of Delhi. He started building of Red Fort in 1639 and finished in 1648. In 1650, he started the work of building the famous Jami Masjid. Shah Jahan city was called Shahjahabad. Great poets such as the Mir Taki, uh, Mir and Miraj, Ghalib, etc. made ghazals and languages of ghazals Urdu famous during this period. It is believed that Shahjahabad was more beautiful than Baghdad in Iraq and Constantinople in Turkey. Over the century, the city was um, located in the city is located uh, uh, that Turkey. Over the century, the city located looted and destroyed the armies of Nadir Shah 1739, Ahmad Shah Abdali 1748, as well as continue attacks from within. All these weakened the city, but despite all these problems, Delhi still had much to offer: music, dance, drama, and variety of delicious food, along with the rich culture, language, and literature. It was said Delhi was the home to at least 24 Sufis, of the which of the most famous were from the uh, Jahanpana area. Some of them were Kutubuddin Bakhtiar Kaki, whose Khankia of Dera was Miharuli; Nijamuddin Aulia, whose Khanke was at Nijamuddin; Sheikh Naziruddin Muhammad, who is popularly known as today as Chiragi Dali; Amir Khusro, who was a great poet, magician, and scholar. After 1707, the Mughals' power weakened and Delhi became a pale shadow of itself. In 1803, the British occupied Delhi after defecting the Marathas. The area around uh, Kashmir Gate, um, Kashmir Gate and civil lines become the important center where the British built many structures. In 1911, the British shifted their capital to Delhi and built an entire new city called New Delhi. It was made on majestic scale. The large structure of the India Gateway Viceroy House, which is now uh, Rashtrapati Rashtrapati Bhavan, Parliament House, and north and south houses, which is now the now blocks, were all made to impress the Indian subject of the British rule. They were meant to show the supremacy, the majestic power, as well as regality of the British. This new city was complemented by 1932. The Connaught Place still remain an important commercial center of the city. Uh, of the city remains an important commercial, culture, and political center of the Indian. Massive building, beautiful parks, flora, and the metro, a beautiful airports, education center, museum, big wholesale market, embassies, and high commissioners of all countries of the world, large malls, major industry, etc., all contributed to making its beautiful city. It has it is sad. Delhi है दिल it is sad. Delhi है दिल वालों की. Delhi belongs to those who have a large heart. What you have learned. The history of Indian architecture and sculptures is old as the civilization of Indus Valley. Architecture holds the key of to understand of the culture diversity of any part of India, as it is influenced by the culture, tradition, and religion practice of different times. Buddhism and Jainism helped in the development of early architecture style of India in building stupas, vihars, and chaityas. Uh, during the time Gupta, Pallavas, and Chols temples architecture flourished. Delhi Sultan and Mughals brought with them Persian influence, and we witness an Indo-Persian style of architecture. The British and other colonial power brought the European impact on Indian culture and affected a synthesis of those with indigenous style, and also instituted that typical colonial style of architecture where material were used to fashion majestic building and office. Starting from Harappa civilization, India has had a very long history of town planning which can be tracked back to 1230 50 BC. Several towns came up since then. There were 12,837 towns in 1594. By the beginning of the 20th century, Bombay, Calcutta, now Kolkata, and Madras, now Chennai, had become well known important cities of administrative commerce as well as industry. Delhi became the capital of British India in 1911. However, Delhi has a history much older than that. It is believed that there are at least seven important old cities that have came together to form in Delhi. These are probably in Indra Prasad, Lalkot, um, Mirauli, Shri, uh, Tughlaqabad, Firozabad, and Shahjahanabad.